Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat. I hope you guys are having an awesome 2019. Well, it's time for our first video of the year and we're checking out the new Vivo Nex dual screen. So let's quickly get started. Okay, so this is the box. As you can see, it's a little battered because this is not an official unit. This is a pre-release unit, so no markings on the back except some basic IMEI information. The device is not a final unit, so there might be some issues we might face with the phone, but simplistic packaging from Vivo. This is the device itself. Again, some IMEI stickers over here, and then when you pull out this drawer, so you get your documentation and SIM ejector tool, some basic information about the device, also specs around this. You also get the charging cable, which is a USB to USB Type-C standard charging cable. And then of course you get the wall charger. As you can see that this is a UK style wall charger. That's again because the device is not an Indian final unit. You also get the Vivo in-ear style earphones. These will be standard 3.5mm headphones, which is because this device still has a 3.5mm jack. So that's everything from the box. It's time to take a look at the device itself. I'm going to quickly remove it from the plastic, and you can already see that the front is all display, nothing on the display. And instead of a pop-up camera, which we had in the first generation of the Nex, you can see that this one has nothing popping out, so it's definitely a more reliable phone, less moving parts. But on the back you can see that there is another display, so if you want to take selfies, you simply switch over to the rear cameras and you get the best camera experience on your phone for taking selfies, which I think is a genius idea. It's not done by many people, or actually I think this is one of the first phones. There were a few phones that were launched in China, but they never made it to global markets. This one definitely is something that you need to check out for. So let's do a quick one over with the device. We do have a 6.3-inch display over here, 6.39 inches. It is a 2340 by 1080 pixel display, and it is a Super AMOLED display. And like I said, nothing else on the front. There are a few sensors over here along with the earpiece on the top bezel over here, which allows the phone to work with the proximity sensor and all of those things. So that is great. On the bottom of the phone is the SIM tray along with the USB-C charging port and the speaker grill. On the right is the power button and the volume buttons. And on the top is the 3.5mm headphone jack along with the secondary noise cancellation microphone. Over at the left is the Vivo key. You can customize this for your needs and also used for switching over to the rear display like I have done right now. So on the back you can see that there are three cameras. One is a main camera, which is the 12 megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture. It's a large sensor as well, so 1/2.55 inches is the sensor size, and it also has 4-axis image stabilization in the main camera. You also have a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera, which is a separate camera, and then the final camera is a TOF camera, which allows you to get 3D capabilities in your pictures. You can also see the screen on the back over here. It is basically the same operating system that is shown on the front. It gets displayed on the back. And inside is a 3500 mAh battery, which also, if you switch to the rear display, will improve battery life because this is a larger display with a higher resolution. And when you don't want to use the main display, you can easily switch to the back display. It will reduce the usage of the battery and improve battery life for the device. Something that I'm assuming. It's only available in this one color because basically all you get is the screen, so colors will not be visible as much. So this is called the Polar Blue, and hopefully it comes to India soon. Right now there's no details in terms of availability or pricing or anything. The charger inside the box is a 22.5 watt fast charging charger. Of course, Vivo's Fun Touch operating system, they've added some interesting elements to it. And of course, we'll be checking those out. It's running on Android 9 out of the box. It does have their own Fun Touch OS 4.5 on top. But if we talk about what's basically running this device, is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845. Now, it's not the latest chipset coming as a device in 2019. I would have expected at least the latest Snapdragon 855, but no information on that at the moment. So you get an 845, but you do get 128 gigabyte of storage and 10 gigabyte of RAM. So definitely trying to take on the likes of the OnePlus 60 with 10 gigs of RAM. the McLaren edition. So right off the bat, you have the same basic user interface shown on both displays. The front-facing display does have a higher resolution and is something that you'll be using throughout most of the day. It does allow you to switch over to the rear display when you want to take pictures with the front-facing camera, or basically the rear-facing camera. The display changes and goes to the back. This is great and allows you to get full control of your camera. The same features that are available on the main camera then automatically become available on the front-facing camera, which is absolutely brilliant. And you also have a flash, which also then becomes your light. So if you're taking selfies, you can have the dual LED light on towards you, gives a really good video light effect. Now this is going to be really great for people who like vlogging, because then they can actually see what they're recording, and the camera does have optical image stabilization, so you get a really good quality 4K video from the camera, and then you can see exactly what you're seeing on the camera, which becomes an issue with most smartphones. In this scenario, this will not be an issue. Now I just want to see what the video quality is like before I can make a judgment on that. It's quite easy to switch from one display to the other. It's always on the left when you're flipping over. So press the button on your left and flip over, you get the screen on the back. Again, press the button on the left and flip over, you get the screen on the front. Or alternatively, whatever side you're on, if you press the button on the right, it turns on that side. So if I'm on the back, I can turn on the button on the right side. And then again, if I'm on the front, I can turn on the button on the right side to get the front display. The phone also does have security features. So on the front display, you do have an in-display fingerprint sensor that you can easily set up to secure your device. Or alternatively, if you're using the camera, you do have a TOF camera on the back, which allows for a secure unlock, much like Face ID, but this is Vivo's own methodology of doing it. This does 3D face mapping using a TOF camera. And that allows you to get a slightly more secure unlock than what you see with traditional Android face unlock, which is a quick unlock. This one is more a 3D face detection mode, which allows you to get that unlock feature. The in-display fingerprint sensor is quite fast. It's probably one of the fastest that I've seen on a device, coming in really close. I don't know the exact numbers, but it feels almost identical or slightly even faster than the OnePlus 60, if I might say so. Again, this is a pre-release unit, so I don't know what the main use case scenario is going to be. For most of the Google apps that you see on the front screen, if you try flipping over to the other screen, the apps don't work in the full display. They give this sort of cropped view. I don't know why that's happening. Possibly a update to Google Apps would fix that. But right now, with the version of the apps that is currently available, the display does not work properly on only Google apps. Vivo's own apps work quite well, and they engulf most of the display. Only with Google apps, I'm getting this sort of narrow view. I also like the fact that there is no bloatware on this device. Some interesting tools and apps, of course, given by Vivo, including a voice recorder and a Compass application. There's also an Easy Share and Vivo Cloud application. Some of the things that people who use Vivo devices do use. So that's great. You also have an AR ruler, which basically is identical to the Measure app that you see on iOS devices. So again, a cool feature, but they could have made it slightly different. They've literally copied the UI point for point. I would have liked to see something slightly different, but you don't have that. You do have other Vivo applications, including the iManager and iThemes, something that a lot of people do use to customize their devices, or you can simply swap out the launcher for a more stock Android look. I like that there is no bloatware, so it'll allow you to do that slightly easier. Now 10GB of RAM does mean that you'll be able to do a lot more things with this phone, including play games more efficiently. You do have a Snapdragon 845, even though it's not the latest chipset, it's still last year's flagship chipset, so it'll give you a really good amount of performance, along with the 10GB of RAM and 128GB of onboard storage, which should be sufficient for almost everyone as far as performance and usage is concerned. Now the camera app is quite detailed. You do have panorama and a professional full control mode for pro photos. Also, you do have AI beauty modes and standard photo mode, along with HDR capabilities. You do have beautify effects, and you also have this thing called pose, which allows you to basically pick poses from preset poses that Vivo recommends, and then that pose will sort of display while you're clicking the picture, allowing you to sort of pose like the picture and get the same kind of effect. I don't know if people are going to use this, but that feature is definitely available. You also have this mode in which you can turn on both screens for the camera. This allows someone else to basically take a picture for you, and you can also see what picture they're clicking. So sometimes when you give the phone to someone and they click a picture for you and you're not happy, you will prevent people from taking multiple pictures or getting failed results, because you'll be able to see what picture they're clicking. So you'll get dual display for that, which is really cool as well. You can have the dual display on for video as well as for photography. So if you are using someone to capture video for you, you'll be able to see what exactly they're capturing as well. And throughout the camera interface, you can have both the displays on throughout all of the features, which I think is a really cool feature. Whatever app or whatever mode you're using, you can have both the displays on for that. Operating system, at least from the start, seems fast and responsive. Really, the only purpose of this is that so that when you launch the camera, you can see your face in the camera as well. So with the main camera, then you can take pictures. They do have a few features here. I can switch from photo to video, but there's also an aperture mode or a bokeh mode, which I can activate from here. And then there's also something called AI Beauty, which will give us apparently 3D face effects, or 3D modeling is what they're saying. You also have some preloaded filters for the camera. Some of these are really nice. I've tried these out in the past. So definitely something that I want to check out in detail. Now, of course, if I go into the settings here, I can see that for video, I want to see if they have 4K video recording. If I can make it HEVC, so I can make it higher efficiency, but it's still going to give me 4K at 30 frames per second, so nothing great with that. If I turn over the device now, I can use it as a standard phone with the standard rear-facing camera. So that's it. That's the Vivo Nex with the dual display. I kind of like it, guys. I think that it's a great idea to put in a full display on one side. Basically gives me a really nice looking phone without any moving parts, without a motorized back, without a hinging back. And then I get a back display when I need to click pictures, or when I need to store some more battery in my phone, or save some more battery in my phone. So I think I kind of like it. It's a great phone for 2019, or at least a step in the right direction. Now all they need to do is put cameras behind screens so that the OLED turns off when the camera is needed only in that area. Transparent displays. That should be the next thing, right? Well, what are your thoughts on the new Vivo Nex with the dual display? Should it come to India? If it should, what price? Would you buy a phone with a dual display? Do you think it's cool? Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think the pricing is going to be? I think it's going to be under or around at least 50,000 rupees. Would you pay 50,000 for a phone with an 845 with 2 screens? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to get notified each time we upload a new video. This has been Bharat. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
I don't know if what we had was just a waste of time.